This is IHSEN iRacing, presented by the Indiana Esports Network. Alrighty. Hi there, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Drew Rhoda, and I am the iRacing coordinator, joined here in the booth with my good friend, Mr. B. Mr. B, how are you?
Good, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Well, not too bad. Getting through some technical issues here. It's interesting. Trying to get going on how this all works. We're currently in the quali setup, which is why you don't see any cars on track. Kind of an interesting way that it handles it. We are heat racing this week at Oxford Plains as we see some quali results come in there from the tower. And let's take a look at our practice full screen results here, powered by Appgeneering. And Robert Fisk tops the top of the timing tables with a 16-1. And look at that, Carmel 1, 2, 3, Ben Davis 4, Pike Drew in 5. Although there's a lot of racing left today, so don't take that for granted. Working on getting a few things going here as we are making our way. Let's see if we can go back to our main screen. And with 3 minutes left in quali, Ben Davis Frank at the top, 16-2 coming in there.
Ike Andrew in a very, very close second, 0.097.
As Carmel Zach takes the top of the timing sheets, steals that fastest lap. Although we don't have lap times yet from Robert, so we'll see how that goes. So heat format's a little interesting for this race time around. So we have 2 heat races. So we had 10 minutes of practice, which is why we started a little bit later than normal. 10 minutes of practice, 2-lap lone qualifier. Looks like we're still waiting on some times, although is Carmel Robert driving? There he is. Let's see if we can get a better camera shot than the scenic view. And here we go. Ooh, going a little wide on that one, but still registers the fastest lap. And I think that might do it for us in qualifying. Top 5 for each heat head out to the feature. And then we have a consolation race for the top 2 from the consolation transfer. 12 total drivers in our feature race. Let's see if we're on track with anybody else here. It's interesting because it's quali, so we don't quite know. As looks like Pike Gerardo doing some laps in a circle, but not necessarily the circle he's supposed to. And
just warming up the tires.
That's right. Gotta get a good start. As Hobart Alex is coming across the 9 machine from the Brickies.
What a cool track that we're at here today. Before we started the stream, Mr. Rhoda was telling me Oxford Plains Speedway in Maine has a capacity of 14,000 people, roughly the same size as our chat stream here that we're our viewers in our chat here that we have. So pretty accurate to what we got here. What a cool little track.
It's actually the largest. I was reading from the iRacing site. It is the largest outdoor seating facility, outdoor public facility in the state of Maine.
It's pretty impressive. I suppose. Oh, 45 seconds left here in our qualifying session. And our top 16 drivers here, all 16 are within a second and a half of each other. That might not sound like all that much, but with 16-second lap times here throughout the course of this evening, we will definitely start to see some lap traffic in some of our longer races here, in some of our longer heats. And from our last time doing some circle track racing, we found that lap traffic can be both really helpful, but also a little detrimental at times if you're not careful in how you navigate your way through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think the kids are doing a nice job. We're a little smaller in the field, only missing 3 of our normal drivers from our 21-member field. But I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of who goes for it. As you notice, the track itself, not a lot of straight. It's a lot of turn left.
Yeah, a lot of finesse in the steering wheel. And, like we talked about last time, it's not just turn the wheel left and go. There's a lot of counter steering involved, turn to the right, turn to the left, a lot of feathering of the gas pedal and brake pedal, making sure that we try and get as much time as possible out on that track and really hone in over these short races, these short times that we have, trying to maximize your position on the track.
And here we are, good enough for Heat 1. This is a 8-lap heat. So this will not take us very long at all. Oops. And this is the part I don't love as the coordinator. Before we get started, make sure nobody crashes the cars. Currently in our blimp shot, courtesy of the good people at Goodyear. It's amazing. We took a blimp all the way out to Maine for this.
That's a good-looking group of cars right there. That number 3 machine reminds me of the Intimidator.
And there we go. In this heat, Robert, BD Frank, Alistair, Pablo from Lawrenceburg, Axel, Alexander from Hobart, and Zane from Blackford, and Lazarus from Pike High School.
Green, green, green.
And we're green flag racing in the Indiana Esports Network as the camera pans over to our race leader, Robert Fisk. And Robert out to a comfortable lead as Alistair and BD Frank door to door there.
Just under 2 minutes left in this first heat here. Mr. Rhoda, this could be a good time. Could you explain a little bit
BD
about
Frank
how
goes
our
around.
racing works?
Oh, go ahead. What was that, Mr. B?
I was saying this could be a good time to explain how the heat racing works and kind of how the setup of the evening is going to run, which drivers make it through, our consolation race, things like that.
Absolutely. Top 5 from each of these make it. And then as Alistair goes around too. And look at that. Pablo in second place on this one. Remember, you only got to be in 5th to qualify for it. Oh, it looks like Pablo's got to go in. This could get interesting as we have many things happening here. Alistair's
All
going
within
in.
the first 45 seconds of the race, mind you.
Yeah, Pike Lazarus still turning some laps here. And let's go to our TV1 shot. Oops. Yeah.
Something that we're seeing here is when the drivers are applying the gas pedal, coming out of a turn, we're finding that they're starting to turn and they're starting to spin. If you aren't careful and gradually apply that throttle, if you just mash it down, these cars have enough power that we're seeing the result of that. You're going to spin almost every time.
And we're going to currently ride on board with Carmel Alistair. All top 5 transfer out of the heat. That would be 5th place. Alistair would be there. That is where it transfers. Pink one on the front. Right, let's get a little bit of a higher up shot. And take a look from our blimp. Alistair running a little bit out by himself. Roberts is our race leader. Top 5 transfer. And I think as we cross the finish line here, Robert transfers. BD Frank will transfer. Alex from Hobart, that's the car directly behind. Blackford Zane transfers. And Alistair from Carmel High School will transfer. And there's 5. The 3 that did not transfer go and duke it out against the other 3 from the other session. And they will go into a consolation race. The top 2 from the consolation race makes it. So 2 heats, 5 from each, and then 2 from the other transfer. Both Harrison drivers are here on heat 2. I kind of liked that reverse shot. Let's go to that one and see how that looks. You can see the whole field. And there's Zach from Carmel. Still waiting on Drew from Pike High School. He's in second on this heat race.
There he is.
Boom. Number 84. Hey, take an opportunity here to talk about the Indiana Esports Network. The Indiana Esports Network is a 100% volunteer-driven, educator-led, free-to-students organization. IEN is a collective of over 150 school districts across the state, ranging in size, demographics, socioeconomic populations, all with the same goal, to use esports as a vehicle as these vehicles start to move, to engage students who aren't already involved in traditional athletics or after-school activities, to increase academic performance and motivation, and to create an inclusive community of students that fosters social growth, and to provide students with meaningful opportunities to develop 21st century skills and career competencies in a novel way. If you are watching this, broadcasting yourself, man, I wish my kids had this opportunity. They could. You could be the one. All you got to do is click that schedule a meeting button at the IndianaEsportsNetwork.org website. That'll put you in direct contact with our board of directors, and they'll get you started. If you're a teacher or administrator, that's all for you. If you're a parent, reach out to a teacher or administrator who could sponsor this thing and have them reach out and schedule a meeting. We hope to see you guys on track soon. Yeah, Leland getting some cheers here in the chat.
Hey, there we go.
I believe somebody commented, and we are green flag racing. Little shot
Great
from the
start to
stands
thing
here.
so far. All drivers completed the first lap with nobody going into the pits.
Better than our last heat, so that was good. You know, I think it's tough, Mr. B. These kids come out, and we ask a lot of them in the league because we, you know, every week we got a different track. This is kind of a unique racetrack, right? This is not Daytona. As the Harrison drivers have a staff meeting, maybe a T-bone for lunch there, and that leaves our top 2 way out in front.
Well, and Mr. Rhodey, you bring up a really good point. You know, people that tune into this get one snapshot of an hour of these students' day throughout the course of a week. And we were talking to a couple of students after the race last week, and they were saying, man, it was just so difficult this week to find some time to practice. I'm studying for the SATs. I also had homework. I have tests in this. I have these after-school obligations. You know, you got to remember that these students, they still do everything that other students do on top of this iRacing league. So finding time to practice on top of everything else they do, some weeks you can find the time, some weeks it's a little bit more difficult.
Absolutely. We tell our kids that are in our esports program at my school where I teach, you know, you're just like an athlete or sports teams, you are a student athlete. Notice you're student first and an athlete second. As we see a pass there from Pike Drew, let's watch that one on the replay here. And just gets the inside line a little bit better. Some better traction. Again, we are on replay. Zach gets a little high, a little bump and grinds, but both drivers survive. And we are back to live. And it looks like Drew's carrying that through. Oh, no. What happened there with Zach? Uh-oh. Oh, race is over.
There.
So I think Drew takes it.
They happen so fast.
Oh, man, these heat races. Drew takes it. Great job for Drew from Pike. Wins that heat race, although we still have a lot more racing to go. Up next is our consolation race. The consolation race here. And go to our scenic shot. Look at the beautiful state of Maine. Look at that. Look at all those fans in the stands out to
All
watch our IEN
14,000
kids
of 'em
race.
there.
That's probably every person in the entire state of Maine. No offense to Mainers. I am a huge fan of Maine. You did some time out east there, Mr. B. Did you go up into Maine, or did you stay in New Hampshire?
I did, yeah. So I took a motorcycle trip out to New Hampshire to visit a friend of mine, and we did New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, kind of the area surrounding that. And man, talk about just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. You know, I have a friend here that we go on motorcycle rides, and he says the best part about living in Northwest Indiana is everywhere else you go seems like a vacation because it's not flat. And wow, that was so true. What an incredible trip that was. Beautiful, beautiful roads out there.
Next time you go, you'll have to go to Oxford Plains there in the state of Maine. Hey, I do want to take an opportunity to say a huge thank you to AppGenier.in, the TV overlay for iRacing. Those guys help our kids look amazing, and I say it a lot, and I'm honest about it a lot. I am just a band director. I am not a streamer. I am not necessarily a person who spends a lot of time, as this could get interesting. We have some differing opinions on how we're going to stack this up here, as we have contact between the 7 and the 50 on the pace lap. With that being said, AppGenier.in, the TV overlay for iRacing, makes our kids look great, and you don't have to know a ton about it, as I don't, and yet our kids look pretty awesome here on track. Order before we get started is, oh dear, is Lazarus Pablo, who takes an early advantage. Leland in second. Lazarus is dropping like a stone a little bit. Let's see if I can
He
get.
seems to have found his pace. Ooh.
Oh!
Might have
And
some issues with that number 50 machine.
took the jump there. All right. On board with Pablo, who seems to be well out in front.
The Lawrenceburg 1-2, followed by BD Axel, Gary after that,
Oh, coming
and
into
then
the pits.
Gerardo and Lazarus from Pike.
I bet they got dinged for improper race start because they were ahead of the pace, because you're not allowed to, well, I don't remember off the top of my head. So I bet they got dinged because you're not supposed to pass until the start-finish line.
I thought that too. That might be a drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
Which thankfully on a track like this is only a few seconds.
Yeah, well, we'll see that only the top 2 on this one qualify. It's not like the ones before it was the top 5. So we'll see as Leland getting a little
Good
loose
job holding on to that.
on the left-hand turn from Lawrenceburg. The Lawrenceburg should be Lepers. Not Lepers. No, not Lepers. That's not what I meant to say. The Lawrenceburg Leopards.
There we go.
That would be the worst mascot ever. He has
Car would look a little different, I think.
yeah, leprosy. Okay, no, that's not what it is. The interesting Pablo with a vengeance in fourth. He's got to make up 2 spots. Let's see where he is. Go high. And Lawrenceburg Tigers, but it's upside down. That way, if you, if you get it wrong. I don't know. He is chasing down Gary, but I'm not sure he's going to have enough time. And I don't know if he'll be able to pull back on Axel, because that's another 8 seconds, as Axel is now in the front. Ooh.
That's the thing about these short heat races. If you get a rough start, the rest of your race is kind of making up for that mistake. Oh, or waiting for something like that to happen. Looks like the 2 Pike drivers, Lazarus and Gerardo, get into each other.
Yeah, I still think it's a long shot for Pablo to make the final here. And
I think something may have happened. Yeah, watching that time continue to climb up here. 13 seconds, 14 seconds. Something must have happened.
yeah, I don't know if he had a disconnect as we're riding on board here with Axel in the final lap. Axel is in first. Gary is in second. Leland would be the first one to not transfer. But I think Axel and Gary will have this one locked up as Axel comes across the finish line. And there's Gary. Checkered flag waves. And Lawrenceburg Leland was close. That 7 machine, you see the flag man. And Pablo, I don't know, maybe they had a disconnect or some sort of technical problem. Oh boy. And Pike Lazarus and Pike Gerardo in 5-6. have a little bit of an early end to their day. We are now on to the feature race for today. On to the feature race. The Lawrenceburg Tigers. I know, Lawrenceburg fans. If it was my vote, though, I would make it the Lawrenceburg Leopards. I feel like that has better alliteration. It's not my vote. I'm aware of that, but
I still think if you write a strongly worded letter,
it will be strongly thrown in the wastebasket. I also love their liveries from Lawrenceburg. See, the alliteration just writes itself. It's all L's. Lawrenceburg, Leland, come on now. As we look at the starting order for the feature, Carmel Robert, followed by Pike Drew, Ben Davis Zach, Carmel Zach in 4, Hobart Alex in 5, Matthew Basinger from Harrison in 6, Zane from Blackford in 7, Jameson, Harrison Jameson in 8, Carmel Alistair in 9, Pike Ethan in 10, 11, Ben Davis Axel, and 12, Union City Gary transfers. So those are the two that transferred across. And we'll see how this goes.
With the feature race being substantially longer than those heat races, over 13 minutes, it's all about consistency here. Get a great start, get into a comfortable groove, and just keep that thing on the track. Turn those laps. And as I said earlier, we're going to start seeing, after a few minutes here, we're going to start seeing some lap traffic start to come in. And navigating that lap traffic, knowing who you need to race for position and who you need to simply get around is going to be important too as we go to green.
Green flag racing in the Indiana Esports Network. Robert with a massive jump off the gun. And Pike Drew a little slow. I don't know if he just was caught napping there or what, but man. As continuing to battle the BD Frank door to door. We told the kids in the drivers meeting it's all about setting up these passes, and in oval racing, it's not necessarily an instant just get around the guy. As we look at our 2-3-4 here, Robert out to an easy lead. It's about maintaining consistency, like Mr. B was talking about, but also letting your opponent know where you are as we go, and working together. These guys got to survive this race. It's one thing to throw it up in there, but it's another thing to survive that corner.
2 laps in a row, our race leader Robert Fisk from Carmel setting a fastest lap and then doing it again immediately after on that next lap. He is in a league of his own right now, and he pretty soon is going to start coming up on some of that lap traffic.
Well, I mean, I think as we almost go around, I think the other issue here for drivers 2, 3, 4 as we're watching in the onboards is, BD Frank is a little bit of cork in a bottle for those guys. They're stuck behind him. They can't get around him. So Robert continues to extend a lead to 2 seconds, but these guys can't necessarily get around on the short track oval. And so they're stuck at they have more speed, but they can't necessarily showcase it until they get around the 42 machine.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I think it might happen here.
Setting up those
Mike
passes.
Drew says, "Let me go. I'm tired of being stuck back here."
Right,
and there we go. As we see the pass there, both Zach and Drew get through the 42 machine. And they got to go hunt down their Carmel colleague, who's in second place. Speaking of which, there is Robert. And there's 2, 3, 4 coming next. I also think it's going to be interesting. So this is a 50-lap race. And I think there's a really good possibility that guys will cook their tires early and might not be able to make it to the end in a competitive manner, as we see the 2 Harrison drivers, Matthew Basinger on the outside of the 67 machine and 33 of Jameson Harrison. Alistair there in the 81 car, kind of in a Harrison High School sandwich, as Alex goes around from Hobart in the 9 machine.
And that's a really good point you bring up about that tire wear and tear as the race goes on. their racing line might start to change as those tires start to go, which can create opportunities for students to pass in places that right now at this stage of the race they can't because their car is not fast there. Maybe as these tires start to wear down, they explore other parts of the track. And again, it's all about looking for those tenths of a second, especially on such a short track like this.
Well, I'll tell you, I think I am no stranger to the exploration of different parts of a track when my tires wear, but it's not intentional. I didn't mean
I was
to
going to
explore
say,
that part.
I do the same, but not on purpose.
Yeah,
I turn the wheel and the car does not turn back.
And I think that's going to be the larger challenge for these guys is if they were aggressive early, there's a really good possibility that later in the race, they're not going to have that speed that they once had. I got to hand it to Carmel Zach. Now, he did burn his tires up early as Gary goes around on that one. That was Gary from Union City. Oh, no. And there's Zach turned around. That is our championship points leader who's now stuck in the traffic and dropped all the way down to 7th position, 8th position as Axel Saldana gets around him. That could be complicated for things as Robert is stuck.
The number 84 machine of Pike Drew saw that incident with the number 10 machine of Zach and said, you know what, I can help you out and return the favor here for you real quick.
Yeah, speaking of Pike Drew, he's there. Carmel Robert comfortably 2.6 ahead. And I think that's going to be some interesting implications for our title fight. Although I don't see Zach staying in 8th for long, as he obviously has some good pace. Looking to get around the outside of Axel Saldana from Ben Davis. Thinks better of it and tucks back in the draft, goes on the inside. Nothing going those laps.
Yeah, that was a great job right there from Carmel Zach. Sticking his nose on the inside, waiting for a few turns, letting him know, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to pass. And as soon as he saw him in his mirrors, he kind of moved up the track a little bit and let him through.
Well, I tell you what,
that's been by Axel and Zach.
That's been an impressive thing from the Greyhounds for many years is they didn't necessarily win every race, but every year that we've done iRacing, Carmel has had a champion. And so because of that, we see guys week in and week out continuing to score solid points. And when you score solid points, good things are going to happen. And see some patience from Zach, kind of the elder statesman in that esports team. Say, listen, it didn't quite go my way early, but today's all about points. Let's recover a little bit and go from there. Let's ride on board with another close battle here. Looks like Ben Davis, Axel.
Racing against the 67 machine of Matthew from Harrison.
Yeah, that's interesting. They must be a lap down. Or maybe Zach is the one that's lap down. No, those in position. So 10, 67, 10, and 18 all on track for position in the 6, 7, and 8 spots.
I believe Blackbird Zane is our first driver that is down a lap. 2 laps, according to our timing screen.
Yeah,
But again, that does not mean that you are done for and out. Anything can happen on these short tracks.
Carmel Zach looks to be setting up another pass now on Matthew Basinger for that 6th position, as he is very close.
Little bump, let him know I'm here. Pucks right into the inside.
Doesn't have speed
Nothing
yet.
happening there.
I think he's got it now as we see Matthew going a little bit higher than Carmel Zach. And well, maybe not.
Ooh, some defensive driving there from Matthew.
Yeah, it's tough though. I think Carmel Zach has been a little gentler on his tires. And so you can see him be able to take a more aggressive line, whereas Matthew might not have been as gentle early on the tires. A little bit of a snap, almost like a tank slapper there. And eventually gets around the 67 machine, but now has Alex from Hobart to contend with. Not, as Zach comes in to serve, probably a penalty. Gosh, that is a tough turn to navigate.
That is.
I bet he was over on points. Check back in with our race leader with 20 laps to go. Well out in front, unless there's an incident or an issue. This one looks pretty sealed up.
Yeah, comfortable 4.7 seconds here. And, you know, I've been watching this timing screen, and anytime a driver is out in the open, they're turning faster laps. And as soon as they encounter, whether it be lap traffic or just the person in front of them, those lap times slow down by a few tenths of a second, all the way up to maybe half a second. And what that's allowing is our race leader, Robert, from Carmel, he's just extending that lead each and every lap.
It's all about consistency, and you know, you got around this thing 50 times. You think, how hard could it be to turn left 4 times? And the answer is kind of tricky, actually.
Yeah, the issues start when you don't turn left.
Oh, and the issues go from
no.
bad to worse as Zach goes around. And this is going to be a day he'll probably be ready to forget about, as I think this is his 2nd penalty he has to serve. Oh, man, poor Zach. Carmel Robert still out in front, trying to get around the inside of Matthew Basinger. And it's tough. Like, how do you communicate to a high school kid and to a driver, like, we want you to push and we want you to be the best version of yourself, but also you're 4 seconds in front of the next person, and the probability of you winning this race is high, but the probability of you pushing too hard and crashing is also high. So just take it easy. Like, we're probably okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that takes a level of mental maturity from these students to understand that situation while you are in it, right? Hindsight is 20/20. You can watch the replay and go, you know what? I don't think I needed to be aggressive there. But it's all about knowing on the track, in the moment, yes, I push now. No, I don't. I hang back a little bit. And Robert is navigating that beautifully. He's waiting. He's being patient. He's still 4.7 seconds ahead. So navigating through that traffic there, didn't lose any of his lead. Great mental fortitude from the number 12 machine of Robert.
Absolutely, and that's actually interesting. It's a battle on track. 67 car, Matthew Basinger from Harrison High School, and Axel Saldana is directly in front, the 18 car, behind the 12 car, who's the leader. Obviously, lap traffic there. So that's an actual battle on track. It's one of the closer ones, Matthew, although it looks like Axel is starting to put some distance between Matthew and himself.
And as this race has continued here, we have about 3 minutes left. We currently have 4 drivers on the lead lap. Being down a lap does not mean anything in regards to the position you're holding. So for 5 through 11th place here, this is still a race. This is still anybody's game, right? Every driver receives points for the place that they finish in. So if I'm Axel, if I'm Matthew, if I'm, BD Frank, yes, I'm down a lap, but 5th place is still points. 5th place is still worthwhile, and you really got to keep pushing all the way through to the end here.
Somebody's running a little bit of a lonely race here. It's Spike Drew, who is 6 seconds back from the leader, but 10 seconds in front of the person in 3rd place. So he just kind of, I figured if ever there was a time to show the inside of the cockpit, maybe it's now.
That's perfect. And this is such a great example of turning left on these tracks. It's not just turning left. Watch how often that wheel is going to the right as he fights this car. Tires are starting to go. Got to hold on for 2 more minutes. Pray that there's rubber left on those rims at the end of those 2 minutes.
It's 7 more laps here to bring this thing home. 7 more laps. And
7-second lead.
Let's see.
It's almost half of a lap
for a while. There's Alex from Hobart High School. And Ben Davis Frank coming around. Another person we haven't seen a lot of, Carmel. Alistair getting around the inside of Alexander from Hobart.
Our last driver on the lead lap here is Alistair. only 2 seconds back from Jameson. As we are within our final minute, our last few laps here.
And with another few laps, looks like we're currently at lap 48. That's Robert coming around that blue caramel machine. And we'll probably see the last lap flag. Maybe 2 more laps, 3 more laps, we'll see. We'll see it now.
Quite a
This
show
could be
for
the white flag as we go around.
Saying he's putting on quite a show for these 14,000 race fans, all on their feet.
Absolutely. That should be the white flag. Yeah, there we go. Final lap indication. And here we go. Congratulations to Carmel Robert taking the checkered flag, week 4. Pike Drew coming across here. And Harrison Jameson punches his ticket to the All-Star race with a 3rd place finish. He was funny. Sometimes these guys, as Alistair comes across, we have this drivers meeting. And sometimes the guys aren't always paying attention. And the first week we did 3 driver interviews. As Gary brings in the pits. Hobart Alex. Nice race, and I think that's it. That is your race for today, ladies and gentlemen. The first time that we did that, I got a Discord message. I couldn't find Jameson from Harrison High School, and got a Discord message about 3 hours later. He's, no, I didn't know I was supposed to be in there.
Oh, no.
Your
celebratory
race winner, Robert, running some donuts on that start-finish line. There we go. And let's take a look at this full screen results from the feature race. Showing that one, Robert in first, Pike Drew second, Jameson from Harrison in third, Alistair in fourth, Axel Saldana in fifth, Matthew Basinger 6, Franklin Wade in 7, Zach in 8. Kind of a rough day for him. I think today's probably going to be a day he's looking forward to forgetting. Gary Nunley from Union City in 9, Alex Kaiser from Hobart in 10, and Zane Blackford in 11, Ethan Bonds from Pike in 12. Looks like Ethan got tagged early and parked it. Zane was about 9 laps back. That's what it is. With our championship standings, let's see how our championship picture stands out. If this is correct, it looks like Zach still maintains his lead. Robert is in second with 32 points. Pike Drew in third, 90 points back on all of that. And for Alistair, 5 Jameson Daniel, 6 Axel Saldana, 7 Pablo Nunez, 8 Zach from BD, 9 BD Frank, and 10th place is Zane from Blackford. Interestingly enough, though, it's good to see Pike Drew crack into the top 3, and we will continue to monitor how all those points come out. We have many, many races to go. We are in next week and the week after that. It does seem as though we have a few guys here. Let's see who we have here. And finishing in third place with us today, gets an opportunity to be here on the stream. Jameson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, man, loud and clear, Jameson. Jameson, talk us through your race. How was your race day? Congratulations, third place finish today.
Thank you. Race was pretty good. The heat race I was in didn't go too well. May or may not have taken out my teammate. Don't worry, I gave the position back afterward.
I'm sure Matthew was stoked, right? Oh, you still
he
there?
He definitely wasn't happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk us through your race. What'd you feel like the race?
Felt pretty good. Feature race, I was really worried about tire wear. I don't really know how to save tires, but I tried. I just avoid the scraping and the scrubbing, and throughout, especially mid corner, that's where I have those issues the most. But I stayed fast, tried to use drafting as much as possible, cut my way through the traffic, and overall just got third,
Well, there
which
you
I'm
go,
really happy
man.
about.
There you go, man. Good race for you. And this is your second time on a podium, but your first time here on the stream. Hey, I forgot to do this last week, and it's actually one of my favorite parts. Talk me through who you got to say thanks to. This is normally the thank your sponsors part, but who do you got to say thanks to out there in internet land?
I'd like to thank my parents for letting me do this and driving me everywhere. I'd like to thank All Balls Racing. Right, I'm talking about sponsorships with them right now.
Oh, yeah,
for
good
karting.
call. Good call. Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it.
Well, I tell you what, you can tell that karting team, you can tell them to watch this stream, see some skills in the digital world. James and Daniel from Harrison High School, congratulations, second podium of the year. Great job today.
Thank you.
Pike Drew,
Really
no stranger to our post-race interview. You did this a couple times last year, I think, and I think it was on a heat racing that you won last year, which was kind of cool. Talk to me about your race today. How'd it go?
Well, the first heat race that I was in started on the outside for both the feature race and the first heat race, so not the best actual start. But the first race, I followed Zach and kind of sniffed his bumper for pretty much half the race, and then when the pressure finally caught up to him and he went a little wide, I took advantage of that in the first race and then pretty much just kept it from him for the rest of that. And then the feature race, pretty much same story, except this time a lapped car got in the way, and I thought, hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I sent it on the inside to Zach, got it there, and then hit the bump at the same time that he kind of tried to squeeze me and sent him around. Sorry, Zach. And had I saw his name on the relative, but I forgot whoever the 42 is in my rear view for pretty much.
It's BD Frank, by the way.
Yeah. Had Frank behind me for about like 15, 20 laps. And then I like blacked out or something and didn't realize that he was no longer behind me. So I'm like, okay, I can have some breathing room. And then towards like the last 10 laps, I noticed that he's behind me again. And I'm like, where did he make up this time? Well, he was actually a lap down. So
actually 2 laps down.
2 laps down. Well, either way, my pants are brown because I thought he was about to pass me.
That's right. You gotta have the relative up. You gotta have the relative up. Well, awesome job to you, Drew, for a second place finish. And for you, who do you gotta say thanks to for today?
My parents, Mr. Russell, Pike in general for actually letting us join.
Mr. Russell, by the
IHSEN.
way, is the sim racing coach, is the esports guy at Pike High School, specifically the sim racing guy too. Also a sim racer, does a lot of racing, and I think he did a lot of work on your liveries. So good guy.
Yes, and I think I'll join in on this trend. Mr. Rhoda himself.
Gosh, yes. Thank you.
My favorite trend.
Yes, thank you all. All right, Drew, great to talk to you today, and hopefully we get to talk to you again later in the season. Mr. Robert Fisk coming in. Is this your second win of the year?
What's
buddy?
up? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think you
really
won
exciting.
the other. Did you
Thank
win
you.
the other oval too?
Yeah, I won USA, so
You
I'm
like
2-0
going
on
left.
ovals this year.
King of the ovals so far. I don't think there's any question mark on that one. Robert, talk me through your race today. A little bit of a lonely endeavor for you.
Yeah. 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 Just really execution was really good. Won the pole, and then we were able to avoid the chaos that Drew and Zach got into, so that was nice for me, and I didn't really have to do a whole lot, which was nice as a racer. And then yeah,
Well, you
got
say,
got did some donuts on the front stretch.
oh, we got it on the stream. Have no fear, because that's what you want, right? If you're
Yay.
gonna do burnouts, you want somebody to see it, and we did.
Yeah.
You are famous. All
That was a great-
14,000
great
people
shot.
in the stands. So the
Yeah.
you know, for you, I think there's something to be said for, you know, kind of a lonely race, but check it out. You did the work that you needed to do to get up into that pole position, and sometimes that's what it is. You know, you get up there in that pole position, you're going to avoid the chaos of the midfield. And for you today, it was an easy cruise. Not only did you get there, you stayed there. You know, Drew finishes 9 seconds back in 50 laps. You maintained that advantage 2 or 3 seconds, really from about lap 4 or 5 on. It was pretty far out. So congratulations to you. Dominant win today. King of the ovals so far. Can anyone dethrone you? Not for a while, because we're not oval racing again probably until next semester. So
Boo.
congratulations. Yeah, I know. Well, we put it on the student vote, but y'all didn't vote for oval. So the who you got to say thanks to today, Mr. Robert?
I gotta thank my family, my friends that are watching the stream right now, my coach, Mr. Sharkey, and my teammates, Alistair and Zach.
Absolutely. You are a popular guy
Oh,
on that stream,
and
Mr.
to
Robert.
and to Drew.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. I appreciate it.
There it is.
All
My
right.
favorite trend.
So, all right, guys. Hey, Sim Racers, it's so great to have you guys on the stream today. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Robert, Andrew, and Jameson, our 1, 2, 3 from this week. And it's cool to see another Carmel driver up there, but all different schools they represented in first, second, and third tonight. That's pretty great. Hey, if you are a fan of this stream, there are 11 of you still watching, which I think is amazing that you've lasted this long, so I appreciate that. Here is our schedule moving forward. Next week is the student vote, hot off the presses. The student vote race is Laguna Seca, which is the same as the last race of the year. So that'll be interesting to our assistant league coordinator, Alex Jones, who you may remember from last year was the league champion, 3-time champion. Alex, first thing out of his mouth when I announced that, said, well, that's going to be interesting to see the difference between the fall semester and the spring semester, how fast guys are. That will not be on this stream. That is on the Indiana Esports Network Twitch stream, and you can find that on Twitch, Indiana Esports Network. IEN is where it should be. So looking forward to seeing that. That is the stream of the week. That one kicks off a little early because the Procasters are coming in. I think Mr. B and I are going to join. But the Procasters come in and they've got some ad reads and things like that. So next week, student vote race was Laguna Seca and the MX-5s. We are the Indiana Esports Network stream of the week next week. So looking forward to see you. Mr. B, closing thoughts before we sign this thing off here.
Yeah, great day racing all around. Great job from our drivers. I really like that we had 3 different schools represented in the top 3. Nothing but positives to say, and I'm already looking forward to next week.
Come on now, Laguna Seca. We're going to California. We're coming from coast to coast in the Indiana
to
Esports
coast.
Network. Yeah. All right. Have a great night, everyone, and we will see you next week.